Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to our new video. I am Kobe, and today we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons of getting stationed overseas. Welcome to our channel. We are the Christ fam. Well, I mean, you're also part of the Christ fam, but you know, whatever. This is at least the Christ fam YouTube channel hosted by none other than us. So, let's get started. Before we get started, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and click the bell so you can get notified whenever we release some videos. So this is a video on pros and cons of getting stationed overseas. Most of my references, most of my explanations will be of Ramstein because obviously that's where I'm stationed. But some of these also apply to Spangalm, which is also in Germany, Aviano in Italy, and a couple in the UK. Some of these will still apply to that, so stay tuned. Pro number one, especially being in Ramstein, you're in Germany. Cheap travel, that is absolutely amazing. You can go pretty much anywhere in Europe for super cheap. You can go to Italy, you can go to Paris, you can go to Switzerland, you can go to the UK, you can go to the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Poland, all these different places not too far away. You can take a flight from Frankfurt in Germany to Malaga, Spain, which is the southeast part, a little corner of Spain, for like $100 bucks. Ryanair is a really cheap airline and a really great airline to be able to just hop on somewhere and travel. Super convenient, super great. So that's pro number one. Pro number two, you're in Germany, you're in Italy, you're in the UK, wherever you are, you're experiencing new culture. So instead of just being in your small hometown in the States, you get to explore an entire new culture, an entire new set of people, stuff like that, and gain so many more experiences, and just notice that the world is so much bigger than what you actually think, and at the same time it's so much smaller. It's a very weird kind of contrast, but it's very exciting, it's very awesome to be able to experience those kind of things. So it's pro number two. Pro number three, and this I guess can be used whenever you're getting stationed, whether that's stateside or overseas, but you're meeting new people. Personally, obviously, Frontline has been a huge part of my spiritual growth there in Germany. And I've met some incredible people, super close friends that I consider family. And that's super important. And it's super awesome to be able to meet new people and to gain those relationships, because now, even whether it's people at church, whether it's people I work with, whether it's the day-to-day people I meet, I have friends literally all over the world. And that's super cool, it's super encouraging, and not a lot of people can say that. They have friends in Korea, Japan, Idaho, Washington, Florida, Georgia, Virginia, Texas, Germany, France, everywhere. Literally, you know people so much. So, super encouraging. That is pro number three. Pro number four. If you're like me, you like different forms of currency. Whenever I go anywhere with that travel, whether it's Sweden, whether it's Switzerland, Poland, UK, wherever I may go, I like to get new forms of currency, and it's so cool to be able to go back home and to be like, hey, I have like 5 new forms of currency because I went to these certain places. And for me, it's a really cool, really, not a huge deal, but it's a really cool deal. Now to some of you it might not be as cool, but for me it's like really awesome. So that's pro number 4. Pro number 5. If you get the chance to live on your own, especially if you're single or if you're married, you can have the choice to live off base. I would take advantage of that, because pro number 5 is living on the German or wherever you're stationed economy. It's a lot different than living in the States, and it's a really cool thing to try and incorporate yourself into their daily lives, to have neighbors who are German, to be able to shop at a lot of German stores, instead of just going to the commissary or just going to the BX. You're able to explore and get some German food, get some English food, get some French food, go down the street and get a French baguette. If you're at Ramstein, you're like 30 minutes from the border of France, and you can go to a bakery and get a French baguette. Like, it is awesome. So those are just my top 5 pros that I feel like are really, really amazing about getting stationed overseas. Now we're going to go to the cons. Con number 1, it is outside your comfort zone. Again, if you're like me, I pretty much grew up in the same town in Virginia, and so I stayed there and I loved it, and leaving was super scary. First it was Texas and stuff like that, but then going overseas to a place I knew nobody, it's very, very frightening at first. Or it can be very exciting if you love adventure. For me though, it was very nerve-wracking when the plane was, taxiing into the airport, and I had just landed in Germany. It was super nerve-wracking, and I didn't. Yeah, it was hard, meeting new people, going to church for the first time, going to work for the first time, exploring different places on my own. That's, so all these new experiences can be a little frightening and definitely outside of your comfort zone. But it can also be a pro because it could definitely grow you as a person. So that's always cool. Con number 2, time differences. Now, if you want to stay in contact with friends and family back home, it can be a little challenging, especially depending on your work schedule. Because Germany is 6 hours in front of the East Coast. Say you're on swings. You get up at, let's say, 9 in the morning. Well, guess what? It's 3 in the morning in the States. You go to work at 3 in the afternoon. Well, now it's starting to become 9 o'clock in the morning there. And it just, being able to communicate with people, being able to do things, you really have to be intentional and you really have to go after it. So that can be a con because it's definitely harder to talk to people back home. So that's con number 2. Con number 3 kind of ties in with 1 and 2, but you're away from people you know, especially family. I'm a huge, huge family person. I love my family so much. I miss them all the time. As you continue to be stationed overseas and continue to live kind of on your own, it gets easier, obviously, because you have your people there that you know and you hang out with, but it's still difficult with family, communicating with them, being able to see them. You almost get FOMO, fear of missing out on things. And I've had times where I'm FaceTiming my family and they're having like a celebration with extended family and they're all talking with each other, and I'm on the phone like, okay, this is nice, so it's hard. It definitely is. And that can be definitely a con. Con number 4. As I said in the pros, it is a different culture, and that's not only a pro, but it's also a con, I feel like, because it's definitely harder to be able to adjust to a new culture. Driving, it can be self-explanatory, but definitely harder at first, and being able to know what is rude in their culture or what's nice, or how they react to one another, wherever you go. Not only at your home station, but also if you want to travel to, let's say France, if you want to travel to Spain, if you want to travel to Portugal. Well, I don't know Portugal. If you want to travel to Spain, if you want to travel to Switzerland, Austria, just knowing just their culture, it can be a challenge. It definitely can be. And once you become more familiar, it's not as bad, but especially starting out, it can be difficult. So that's con number 4. Con number 5, it's something that I've struggled with my entire time there, but I'm trying to get better, is learning a new language. Now, I'm obviously stationed at Ramstein, so they speak German. My German is not that great. I'm still trying, I'm definitely trying my hardest to be able to really go out and learn the language. Ein Hühnchen. That's all. Being deployed right now, it's definitely hard. You don't have as much motivation, but it's definitely something that I am kind of trying to strive at, because it is cool. I have German friends that I want to be able to communicate in German a little bit, and it's very hard, it is. So that can be a con too, especially for people who don't want to necessarily learn the language because it's hard, and I know a lot of people who are in that boat. So it can be definitely a challenge if you want to go to France. When my family was out, we went to Normandy, because why wouldn't you? And we wanted to order like a pretzel or some food from a food truck, and we really couldn't read it. So we guessed on the pictures, and the woman unfortunately didn't speak any French. Or, wow, holy cow. The woman unfortunately didn't speak any English. It was just French. So we had to like point, and she had to come around, and it was complicated. Same, in Germany, I went to Heidelberg, one of my first weekends there, and we wanted to order some food, and she didn't speak any English. So definitely being able to try and learn that language, it's super helpful, but it can be definitely a challenge and definitely a con. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and knowing some of my own personal pros and cons of being stationed overseas. If you already haven't done it, go ahead and click on that subscribe button and click that bell so you can get notified whenever we release some more amazing, awesome videos. And we will see you guys next time. See ya.